your hostage on the ship those men who had provisions made of some kind for eating and the rest of it. They shared it with everybody. Everybody came by and had a bit of it. The ship made no special provisions for you.
When I was a young child, maybe 7, 8 years old, I had a grandfather who had worked in the canal, and he was old and he had a stroke, so he was like crippled, half of the body. And him and this other guy, who was also a friend of his, a contemporary, they used to sit down on the balcony and they would talk about the Panama Canal all the time. And I was just a little kid, and I don't know why, to this day I can't answer the question, but I used to sit down at their feet, a little child. And I would just sit there and listen to these stories, and I don't know why, whenever all my friends were playing, I stayed with them, these two gentlemen, and this happened a lot, and so it stayed with me. And then many years later, a book was published called The Path Between the Seas. It was a bestseller about the history of the building of the canal, and I was very disappointed after I read it because I had known the story based on what I heard from my grandfather and his friend. We used to call him Tata. And I was like disappointed that this book actually basically ignored the West Indian workers. I mean, it mentioned them, but in very few pages. It was a 600-page book. And that made me angry. And I had a friend named Alex Haley who wrote Roots. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And I used to talk to him about this, and I used to be angry, and I would like vent with him. And one day he got tired of me, and he said, "Listen, Roman, get your behind down to Panama and start working on this thing and record it." And in 1978, January, I'll never forget, he gave me what I needed, and the rest was history.
I was really moved. I think Mr. Foster did a tremendous job in creating this documentary. It was the first time that I was able to transport myself in that space and understand and have some kind of a significant understanding of what Barbadians went through. And, you know, I tried to picture my grandfather in the circumstances, some of which were really dangerous, and I salute all those people as heroes, and it is regrettable that our part in that venture is not more celebrated in the world.
Panama money made a great difference to moving the Barbadian working class upwards. Not only the land that was bought in St. James and St. Peter, but the people all over Barbados in the country and in St. Michael who benefited from their sacrifices. And this is what's so amazing about it. They were having such a terrible time, but they were still able to send home money for Barbados, and it made a huge difference in Barbados.
As demonstrated in the film, which I found particularly interesting because of the use of oral history, oral testimony. In my career as a historian, I've often used oral history because it makes history vibrant, it brings history to life. And everybody, I think, who saw the film tonight, recognized the degree of poignancy, degree of sadness, sorrow, perhaps resentment even, of those elderly people who are now dead, but who recollected their experiences when they were young people building the Panama Canal. And I think one helps to bridge time and bridge the gap in our understanding. And that's why I love young Barbadian school children, as many as possible, to see this film.
A lot of the values that we carried over there of hard work and integrity and perseverance that led those people to build the canal, a lot of that is actually being lost, I think, by the distancing from us. And I think one of the things that we have to do is to really try to connect back with our people over there.
One of the things I was very happy about was that the documentary actually was able to capture individuals who actually worked on the Panama Canal. And as the documentary showed, several of them subsequently passed away. So I think it was very important that the filmmaker actually managed to capture them. That was the thing that resonated with me. Also, what was very important to me as well is seeing that when you do not document your history, it is very easy for people to just erase the contribution